Freeman be the name, so don't you forget it. Hey, I'm from the west where they with it. Them niggas dangerous, they hop outside the whip and spin it. He think I'm broke, man, that nigga must be silly. They calling me.
What it is, y'all? The Mac is back, and today we watching serial killers that may still be alive today and killing. And right now it's 11:33 p.m. and I'm the only one up right now. So I'm a little scared. I ain't gonna lie, but we gonna throw this out. You feel me? I had to get some content out for y'all, so enjoy the video. You feel me?
Okay, let's talk about some serial killers who were never actually caught. And I think we should start off with the Freeway Phantom. Let's start off with this first victim. On the night of April 21st, 1971, the Freeway Phantom would abduct, get this, a 13-year-old girl named Carol Denise Spink. Yeah, you heard me correctly, a 13-year-old girl from a nearby 7-Eleven. Carol's sister, Valerie, gave her $5 to buy some groceries for the family and to buy some soda. Or pop for the weirdos that call it that. And when Valerie waited for her sister to return, she never actually came out of the store. Not only that, but...
What you mean, like, you just waited? You didn't go in the store to go see if your sister, like, what was going on with your sister, bro? I mean, maybe she did. Maybe he just, like, how he's saying it. It seems like she was just waiting in the car for hours for her sister to come out. Say me, about 10 minutes, I'm gonna go in there like, what's up? Like, what's going on? Because back then they didn't have phones. So, like, I'll be like, bro, like, what's going on, bro? Like, what's taking so long? You know what I'm saying? That shit never happen. Like, ever.
At night, Carol never actually made it back to her family's Congress Heights apartment. So now you're probably wondering, where did she go? Well, apparently she was abducted while she was inside of the 7-Eleven, and that was the last time anyone saw Carol for the next 6 days. Until her body was found 20 minutes outside of Interstate 295 and Suitland Parkway. Alright, listen, this is where things get a little bit, disgusting. Because the Freeway Phantom kept her alive for multiple days so that he could assault her, sexually through her. I'm not saying that. Just keep in mind she's only 13 years old and
Bro, like, what type of sick person do you have to be to not only kidnap a 13-year-old girl, to kidnap anybody, let alone a 13-year-old girl, to kidnap somebody, torture them for 3 days and rape them for 3 days? Bro, come on now. That's sick, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, some people, you just gotta pray for them, because it's a lot of sick people in this world, bro. This world's evil.
It doesn't stop there. Because she was also beaten, cut across not just her face, but torso and even her arms. Then ended her life by strangling her to death. You'll see why that part is so important in connecting all these different murders. Now, the Freeway Phantom's next victim literally came from the same damn neighborhood as Carol. Yep, this guy definitely had a specific hunting ground. Alright, but this time the victim was a 16-year-old girl. Yeah, what the hell. This next victim is Darlena Johnson, who was abducted on the 8th of July in 1971, so it's 3 months after Carol.
Bro, 4 days after the 4th of July, bro. And it's in the same area, bro. I feel like the police they wasn't on their stuff, bro, because that shouldn't happen, bro. It wasn't even that long after. 3 months is not a long time, bro. Like, I'm glad that the police system, even though it still has its flaws today, I'm glad that it's better than it was then, because our justice system then was it was horrible. Like, it was very bad.
This time, though, the girl wasn't abducted at a 7-Eleven. Instead, Darlena was headed to work as a summer camp counselor at the Oxon Hill Recreation Center, when an eyewitness claimed that she saw Darlena riding with an older black man in a slightly beaten-up car. And now, do you remember that disturbing pattern I was talking about earlier and asked you to remember? Well, get ready, because Darlena's body was found 4.6 meters, or for you nerds watching this, 15 feet away from the same exact spot Carol's body was found. Now you're probably wondering how this guy wasn't caught if he was finding the girls from the same neighborhood and throwing them away in the same damn place. Hold on, I'll get to that, but let me tell you what he did to Darlena. It's not really clear whether the body was touched in a inappropriate way, but we do know that Darlena was strangled to death just like Carol. I mean, are we starting to see a signature? Maybe this next victim will make it really, really clear for you guys. Just get ready. This is 10-year-old Brenda Crockett, who was discovered on the 28th of July near...
10 years old, bro? A 10-year-old, man? Come on now. 10, bro. A 10-year-old girl.
An underpass on US Highway 50. And you guessed it, Brenda had been strangled to death. But just like Carol, she was also abducted while walking into a grocery store. This dude might not like shopping or something, honestly. Following the brutal kidnapping of Brenda, 12-year-old Nenomasia Yates was abducted on October 1st, with their body being found, get this, 6 days later. Sounds awfully familiar, right? Yeah, and here's another shocker. She was also strangled to death. Now here's where the ritual actually changed. When the freeway killer killed his oldest victim, can anyone guess how old she was? Nope, you got it wrong. She was only 18 years old. Brenda Denise Woodard was kidnapped from a bus stop on November the 15th, stabbed multiple times, and then literally thrown away like trash.
Are there no eyewitnesses? There's nobody seeing this happening. Like, nobody's seeing anything. Like, I find it hard to believe that, like, nobody's seen anything, bro. Like, they said there was an eyewitness one time. There's nobody who's seen anything in any of these acts. That's crazy, bro. I know someone's seen something. It's no way. They're probably just too scared to say something.
But like I said, here's where things get exciting about this kill. Can I even say exciting? Anyways, the freeway phantom actually left a note on the scene for the cops, which went something like... hold on, let me get the exact words for you. This is tantamount to my insensitivity to people, especially women. I will admit the others when you catch me if you can. I mean, this guy was just poking fun at the police, like he knew he was gonna get away with it. Before I tell you how the freeway phantom escaped the cops, let me tell you a bit about his final victim. 17-year-old Diane Williams one day went missing after boarding a bus. So avoid buses and shops. Nice, I guess you literally couldn't go anywhere. Diane's body was found along I-295 in Philadelphia, where once again she was strangled to death. Shocker. But also she was found just 5 miles out from where Carol Spinks was also previously found. So let's review this for a second. The bodies were strangled, taken from similar places, and dumped in the same area, and the cops would not find anything? I mean, this guy literally killed 6 different people with the most obvious patterns. Well, folks, the police didn't devote any serious resources towards catching this killer. I mean, sure, maybe they questioned a few people, but after a while, they kind of just stopped. And ladies and gentlemen, we're just getting started because that's not the only serial killer that got away with multiple murders. Okay, now let's look at the I-70 killer who may have gotten away with the most amount of kills on this list. But first, let me give you a bit of context. And I'm already going to assume that you guys know that
Are these freeway killers, bro? Is that what this is about, bro?
70 is that huge road that goes from Baltimore all the way to Utah. So let's just get into like the main part of all this. The first victim taken by the I-70 killer was a shoe store clerk by the name of Robin Fuldower. 3 days later, on the 11th of April, the same killer would enter a bridal store in Wichita, Kansas, and force 2 employees, Patricia Majors and Patricia Smith, into the back room of the store before shooting them both dead on the spot. Now you're probably wondering, how is this guy walking into stores, killing people, and then getting away with it without anyone seeing? Well, during the murders of both the Patricias, a customer actually walked into the store while the I-70 killer was wrapping things up. What I found kind of strange here while researching this part was the I-70 killer actually let the customer live, even though the killer could have been identified. Soon after, the life of Nancy Kitzmiller was taken in a store in St. Charles, Missouri. Now here's something...
Wait a minute. So there was a witness, but she just decided not to tell.
You might find interesting. In 1992, on May 7th, Sarah Blessing was shot dead at a gift store in broad daylight. at a strip mall in Missouri in a specific city named Raytown. Except this time, there were eyewitnesses who got a glimpse of the killer as he was trying to flee the scene. And the description actually matched perfectly with the description of the killer from the store customer in Wichita.
Okay. So
Let me actually show you the police sketches.
she did tell on, bro. At least she didn't keep it to herself, bro.
Well, it gets better. The lab test confirmed that all 5 victims have been killed by the same gun, a semi-automatic 22 caliber pistol for anyone that was curious. Oh wait, I've also got this gun linked to a murder of a 40-year-old man in Indiana by the name of Michael McCown. So now that puts us at 6 victims. Anyways, this is where the story gets a bit confusing. Okay, so make sure you're following. Given how quickly these murders came to a total stop, it was suspected that the I-70 killer was arrested for a totally different crime. No one knows what the crimes were or if this theory was even true. But our boy was back because in 1993 and in 1994, 1 to 2 years after the last confirmed kill, there were 3 more killings that followed the same I-70 killer pattern, which started to make the police wonder if this guy was still out and about or if we had a copycat on our hands. Till this day, we still don't know who this killer was or if he's still out and about because the cops kind of let this case turn cold. I mean, all they had to do was think a little bit outside of the box. Kind of like my head. Alright, in all seriousness, join the rest of the 4,100 of us and hit the subscribe button. But anyways, I love this next case because the killer got away with over 8 murders just because of his skin color. Yeah, let me tell you about the Frankfurt slasher who basically terrorized a single neighborhood in Philadelphia for 5 straight years. The years 1985 to 1990 for anyone that was curious. And some of you were probably alive for this. The first victim was 52-year-old Helen Patton, who was found dumped in a railway maintenance yard. And it was later revealed that she was assaulted, sexually, as well as being stabbed 19 times. Yeah, you heard me correctly, 19 damn times. Oh, and she was also found fully nude from the waist down and had her blouse pushed all the way up to expose her chest. Which I'm obviously not going to show you guys or draw because, I kind of like being able to post on YouTube. Anyways, 5 months after the murder of Helen, this 60-year-old woman named Anna Carroll was found stabbed to death in her own apartment. And as you could probably guess, she was also fully nude from the waist down and even had her blouse pulled all the way up. Let's just say this guy's signature was a tad bit strange. And over the following few years, the Frankfurt slasher was thought to have been responsible for around 6 more murders on women. And the cops had nothing on this guy is probably what you're thinking. Well, the cops actually...
Bro. Real deal spill. If you're a young woman, not even just that, if you're a woman, please don't try to be by yourself, especially that late times of night. Please don't try to do that because this world is dangerous, and especially it is for women. So it's dangerous for men too. So man, I suggest y'all don't do it either. But more importantly for women, do not be by yourself at a certain time of night. And don't be in secluded areas or areas where people can't see you. If you are out late at night, be in a place where people can see you easily. Don't try to be no little freaky person. Even if you're trying to do something you're not supposed to be doing, make sure people can see you, because it's sad for people to be in these types of situations.
They had a lead. So the victims were actually seen with an unidentified middle-aged white man shortly before all of their deaths. Great. The potential description for the Frankfurt slasher could have been half of goddamn America. But here's where the story starts to take a bit of a turn. The slasher murdered another person, 46-year-old Carol Dowd, behind a fish market in 1990, and authorities finally had a suspect that could be the Frankfurt slasher. The suspect was Leonard Christopher, and why did they think he was the Frankfurt slasher? Because he was one of the employees at the fish market that was working at the same time of the murder. Surprisingly, he was actually found guilty for the murder. By the way, the signature of the murder was the exact same as all the other victims earlier. So why am I talking about him in this video? It sounds like the Frankfurt slasher was caught. Well, if you don't remember, this doesn't exactly match up with the middle-aged white man that was spotted with all the other victims. Yeah, you dumb boxhead. This could have just, been a coincidence and someone probably got the description wrong. Well, buddy, listen to this. The real Frankfurt slasher murdered another woman when Christopher was still locked up. The most messed up part about all this was the case was actually forgotten about. Wait until you hear this next one, because there was a time from 1978 to 19...
So bro was just framed, and he's not even the killer. And I wonder if he was still locked up, bro. That's messed up. That's messed up.
86, where the bodies of 7 women were found in the Connecticut River Valley, and basically no one cared at all. Hold on, you could probably guess what the killer's name was. Yup, the Connecticut River Valley Killer, which I can't lie is probably the worst name we've had in this video. But anyways, let's get to the juicy, super gut-wrenching stuff. All of the killings started on October 24th, 1978. Basically, a 27-year-old Kathy Milliken had left work for the day when she then made her way over to the Chandler Brook Wetland Preserve to, get this, photograph some birds. Sounds like a pretty normal day, right? Well, the next day, she was found literally where she was last seen, except this time, she was found with 20 stab wounds. Yep, she was stabbed 20 times and no one saw a goddamn thing. And what...
That's cap. Somebody seen something, bro. I don't be believing most of this stuff. Nobody seen anything. No. People probably seen it, but were scared to say anything about it. And stabbing someone 20 times is crazy. Like, they dead, bro. They dead. They dead, bro. You ain't got to stab them that many times, bro. Dang. It don't be that serious. See, I think we need to, like, do an experiment on like the mind of a dead serial killer or something, like see what's wrong with them, like mentally, what made them think the stuff they doing is just cool. Like, it baffles me, bro.
What's crazy is that a similar event went down 3 years later with the disappearance of 37-year-old Mary Elizabeth Critchley, who was dropped off by a friend one day to hike near an exit on Interstate 91. When the next time her friend saw her, it was 2 weeks later when the body was found in a wooded area, dead. Want to know a fun fact? The body was found just a few miles out from where Kathy's body was found 3 years prior. Next, we have 17-year-old Bernice Kuftamash, who was last seen in New Hampshire hitchhiking to her boyfriend's house. Oh, and I forgot to mention it was the year 1984. Anyways, when Bernice didn't arrive at her boyfriend's house, she was reported missing and finally found 2 years later by a fisherman. The problem here was it was just her remains. That same year, 26-year-old Ellen Ruth Freed was in the area at 2 a.m. on a payphone to her sister after she was telling her that there was a suspicious car going back and forth around her. That next day, she failed to show up to work and her remains were found about a year later, around 8 miles out from where she was last seen. But this next murder was actually the really important one. So listen up. Once again, it's 1986 and Linda Moore was doing yard work alone at her home when her husband returned from work and he was met with his wife being stabbed 25 times on the living room floor. But the murder of Linda was really important to this case because there was actually an eyewitness that was able to describe the appearance of the Connecticut River Valley Killer. Apparently, he was a man in his 20s, rounded face, glasses, and dark hair. Oh, and the reason people were able to identify him was because he was lurking around Linda's home literally hours before the attack. Somehow, this was the closest anyone's ever got to the Connecticut River Valley Killer alive. Until the year 1988. Basically, 22-year-old Jane Borowski was in New Hampshire for a county fair, when after leaving the fair, she ended up stopping to purchase a drink from a convenience store. I should also mention that she parked next to a Jeep in the parking lot. This part is really important, trust me. When the store was closed, she settled for some soda or pop from a nearby vending machine. Oh, and I forgot to mention that she was also 7 months pregnant at this time too. Random side fact. Alright, here's where the fun begins. So when she got back to her car, the driver from the Jeep next to her then got out, opened Jane's door, then dragged the pregnant woman and started beating and stabbing her. She was actually stabbed a total of 27 times. And get this, she survived. Yep, you heard me correctly. Alright, this is where the Connecticut River Valley Killer actually
Alright, she's a soldier, bro. Getting stabbed 27 times that's a lot. So she survived that. Real trooper, you feel me? Yeah, I give her a round of applause. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause 27 times that's a lot of times, bro. That's what that bastard get.
Up.
That's exactly.
Because after the attacker fled, Jane got in her car and tried to drive off to find some help. When she realized that she was driving directly behind her attacker's car. I mean, could you just imagine that? I mean, I wonder if the killer knew she was behind him. Anyways, this left her with a pretty good description of the vehicle and her attacker itself, which she later gave to the police after escaping to a friend's house and receiving proper medical attention for the stabs. Jane then identified her attacker as Vietnam veteran named Michael Nicolou, who became a suspect originally in 1988 after his wife would suddenly disappear. So if they knew the man that killed all these people...
So, bro, you served in the war, bro. Vietnam, bro. You did all your good doings. And then you come back home and you become an evil, sick son of a Bro, I don't even want to cuss you. Son of a female dog. I bet your mom's so proud of you, man. She raised such a mark, bro. Such a punk. Like, bro, that's crazy.
How did he escape? Well, that's because in 2005, Michael murdered his new wife and stepdaughter before taking his own life. And guys, get this, the cops have yet to confirm if he was really the Connecticut River Valley killer, which is why law enforcement believe he could still be out in the wild. But hey, if you want to hear about more painful and just gruesome deaths, click this video right here where I talk about the most evil human experiments in concentration camps.
Hey, man. Maybe another day. But law enforcement, y'all need to get on y'all stuff, bro. These people are sick, bro. Y'all got to do y'all job, man. Y'all letting families down, man. It's not cool, bro. Well, y'all, I'll see y'all in the next video, man. You know, the Mac is out. Let me know if y'all want to see something else. Like and subscribe, you bastards.